1, 2, 3, 4. Booksmart was directed by Olivia Wilde and it stars Caitlin Dever and Beanie Feldstein. It's a story about these two girls who are high school seniors. The last day of school, one of the girls, Molly, who's like the valedictorian, she's like the smartest girl in her grad class. Everyone kind of looks at her as the bookworm type. That's all she's at school for. She's not there to have any fun or to be in any extracurricular activities or go to parties or things like that. But everything is to focus on her career, her future. She finds out on the last day of school that everyone else at the school has also been getting into very good universities just like her. She said she's going to Yale. And then she finds out when she's in the bathroom that the three other people in there are also going to Yale, and I think one's going to Georgetown, another is going to Google. They have this whole thing where she is figuring out that everything she worked hard for is going to come true, but she sacrificed it for all the fun, the high school parties, the going out late with friends, the great stuff that made school actually bearable. She feels like she missed out on all this. So the last night, she decides that she's going to take her best friend, Amy, who is also going to be leaving for Africa after graduation. So this is sort of like their last big night together, and so she takes her and drags her along to this party. And so this whole movie is all about trying to get to this party that they've been wanting to get to, and it'd be weird that they showed up because they've never been to any of the parties before, they've never really been invited, or they've never shown interest to want to go to any of these things. This movie is hilarious. It's so funny. I looked at it kind of like a female Superbad, and I don't mean to compare like male and female, I just mean it was similar to Superbad. It was like two best friends last night at school, all about a party, but it had a really cool female point of view, and it was still really relatable, and the things that they go through, I think I just liked it because there was a lot of things that happened in the film that I was like, oh yeah, I went through that. It's about friends, it's about the last sort of high school hurrah party of the season, and right before everyone takes off, and what that feels like, and the crazy emotions that come with it. One of the things I love about this movie is the actors in it, and the performances, both by the two girls in the main roles who play Molly and Amy. They do such a great job. They have such great chemistry. You can tell that they really chose them very, very wisely, and having them make chemistry on screen, those two personalities coming together and being so different but also meshing so beautifully, making a really fun friendship to watch on screen. And I think the actors do a great job of pulling them off. The supporting cast in this is hilarious. You got people it's an all-star cast, so you got Will Forte, Lisa Kudrow, Jason Sudeikis, I'm trying to think of the other one. I can't remember now, but the supporting cast is hilarious. Amy, who is the girl who is a lesbian, her best friend, Molly, whenever they're around her parents, Molly likes to try and make it seem like they're dating, and Amy hates it and gets all mad and is all embarrassed about it, and her parents think that the two of them have a special friendship. And it's just funny to watch them even in the kitchen at the beginning. And they're just hilarious. They have these quick little bit parts, like Jason Sudeikis is the principal, and there's a hilarious gag later in the film with spoilers, with him being the Uber driver. I think they call it Lyft in the movie, but being the Lyft driver, he shows up and has to drive him to one of the parties, and it's just, there's a hilarious moment with porn, and it's really weird and it's really funny. There's some really great situational humor in this film. I thought there was some awesome comedic timing with the cast and the people, the back and forth. The dialogue was really great, and I loved that they had so many great side characters, but it didn't detract away from the film, from the friendship between the two girls. But it was just a nice added sauce. And I feel like I've mentioned this before, but what sometimes makes a great movie or great TV show is the supporting characters. It's not necessarily the main plot point, but it's the stuff in the background, and it's the extra spice of the film or the show that really adds to it. And I feel like in Booksmart, they did a really great job of balancing the main storyline of the two girls, but also having really fun side characters to relate to laugh at and laugh with. Billy Lord as the friend, I think her name is Gigi, is hilarious. She's so good in this film. It's probably my favorite thing I've seen her do, but she really kills it in this movie. To me, she steals the scene every time she's on screen, and she pops up throughout the whole movie. It's hilarious. She'll just randomly be at the next location. she had just jumped into the boat in the scene before. The next time she's at the party, and they see her, she's like completely dry. They're like, how are you dry? Like, it's really funny back and forth humor with that. So I thought they did a really great job with that. Olivia Wilde did a really fantastic job directing this as her first directorial debut. She did great. She surrounded herself with a very talented cast and crew and writers, obviously, but she did a great job. There are some awesome shots in this movie. There's a particular scene underwater in the pool at the party. The way it's shot is very, very beautiful. And my wife and I both said that. We were both at the same time said, wow, this is really beautiful. So there's some really great shots in the film. It's edited quite well. The humor and the heart is all there. It's it's a roller coaster ride. It's a teen film, right? It's a teen drama. It's a teen comedy. Some of the issues I had with the film, the biggest thing for me was that there was a romance in the film that came about out of literally nowhere, and it was shocking to the point where I fell out of the movie a bit. I was like, that came way too much out of left field. There was no hints about it. There was no sort of like interactions. It was just kind of there. And that's not necessarily bad, but in the context of the characters in the movie, it didn't really fit the situation. There didn't need to be a character who that certain individual was hooking up with that needed to be there. It could have been someone else. If you see the movie, you'll know what I mean, but yeah, when the reveal happens of coming up out of the water, you'll know what I mean. And that moment just didn't really work. I just thought they could have written a different character in there. It didn't need to be a certain individual. The other one was the ending. And like, it ends with them going out for pancakes and in the car. At the beginning of the movie, it shows the two girls dancing outside the car, and it's really cute, really fun. It demonstrates their relationship very quickly. It's a great moment, actually. And then they do it at the end of the film where drops her off at the airport. She's gonna go to Africa, and then at the last second, she jumps in front of the car and she starts doing the dance again. And they're like, let's go for pancakes. And that's the end of the movie. It just felt the last 5 minutes was it wasn't necessary. It didn't need to be there. It could have been a little bit, I guess, edited better in the sense of the ending. Like, even my wife said, how much is left? And I looked on the screen and it said like 25 minutes. And she's like, wow, like weird. Like I felt like it's getting really, really close to ending. And I said, yeah, me too. And then by the time they get to the airport, that felt so extra. Like, I felt it could have ended like right as Amy turns to go back in the house after talking to the girl that she is kind of falling for, the one that was always mean to her. And when she goes back in the house and her and Molly are going to go to the airport, it could have cut then. I don't know. I just had a problem with the way that the pacing at the ending was, with them crying, but they didn't really say much to each other. So it wasn't really that emotionally resounding for me in that moment. They didn't really say much. They're like, okay, see ya. And then they kind of cried, and as they walked away, and that was it. And then it was like, let's go for pancakes. And I don't know. The pacing was just, I guess, really weird, strange for me at the end. But those are really my only two issues with the film. Besides that, it had great writing, great characters, a wonderful cast. It was directed very well. She did a great job as her first time director. So hats off to Olivia Wilde, and the team was awesome. I thought they crafted a very funny film, and just such a great look at kind of teen and growing up and that coming of age story. So even though it was a repeated film where, yeah, it's been done before, it was a really fresh view and a fresh take, which I really appreciated. So in the end, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a B+. plus. So thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad that you guys are going to check out this film. I definitely recommend it. You'll have a good time. It's one of those films that you'll just keep laughing, and there's not too many dull parts, and I like that in a film. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this, you can click down below, and if you want to subscribe, please do so. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Let's get taught.